We're back to Neil Haley Show. I'm excited first to welcome my co-host, Paul Hollis, author of the Hollow Man series, owner of Seniors Publishing and Hollow Man's Publishing. How are you, Paul? And I know you're excited about our guest.
I am. We have a very special guest today, kATHRYN MATHIS, and she's going to tell us all about her books and how she became an author. So welcome.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
So how did it start out for you as an author? When did you want to be an author? Is that your whole life, or how did it happen?
Well, I have always wanted to be a creative, but I never had the opportunity. I spent, a lot of time doing professional writing and had success that way. But I always had trouble coming up with creative ideas. And I think finally it was just by the grace of God that the words started coming to me when I had been having trouble in the past.
Great.
What had happened to create this spark was that my sister did a DNA test. She never knew her father, and she found out that she was 50% Russian. And so my mind just went on into overdrive, thinking, how could it happen that we grew up in Las Vegas, Nevada, with a single parent mom, and she worked in the casinos in the 1960s. And so my mind just went on overdrive of how could it happen that she would meet a Russian in that era and then ultimately have a child with him. And I was not privy to what really happened, what the real story was. That would be my sister's story to tell. But she gave me the blessing to, make this fictitious story about it and have fun with it. So that's where it all
That's
came
a
from.
crazy story.
Yeah.
That's a movie in itself, right? Something like that.
Well, I'd love a movie about it, but for now we'll just have fun with the book.
Okay. Yeah, Paul, what question you have?
What's the name of the book then?
It's called The Renegade's Daughter and the Life She Never Knew. It was about this, a girl who never knew her father and then finds out through a series of tumultuous events that he's related to organized crime.
Okay, so that's smart. You put the organized crime into this too. So the Russian mafia then.
Right. And how they had ties to the casinos in Las Vegas.
And in what time period again? 70s, right? Or 60s?
Late 60s.
So then that would be almost KGB too, right?
It could be.
You have to read it to find out, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So how long did it take you once you came up with the idea based on your sister putting it together and these fictitious things and this whole process of putting it together?
It was less than 6 months. It, fell into place, and I self-published, and there were a lot of resources on how to get that done. And so I used, just normal resources that you can find on the internet and got it done within about 6 months. And I chose I chose Amazon to do the exclusive e-rights to it, so you can get the book on Amazon.com. But I also had the book recorded for Audible, which turned out really good. I had a voice actor by the name of AJ Shuck, and he recorded the book, and his accents and just the way he tells the story really brings it to life. So I'm really proud of that. And I have a clip if you want to listen to that also.
Yeah, we're going to be playing that clip and all that stuff, I guess, at the end of the interview. I have not decided is you threw that at me, and I'm good on that. So tell us, did you write any more books? Is there more to the series than the first book, or what do you think?
I am in the process of writing a second book. So I'm hoping to make it a series, and it'll just be, because I do have a day job, just time. I have 4 kids also. And so one of the other things that you could go to my website at kathrynmathis.com and find out more about the books and when the sequels come out. And there's also a blog that I have there. It just talks about the shenanigans of my blended family. And so that was one of the other clip that I have for you is, how I walked out of my house one day and there was an airplane in my driveway. So I have an engineer husband who's, always doing projects, and that was one of them. So.
Okay. So let's talk about specifically enough the process once your book went out. What kinds of things were you going to get the word out? What types of things did you use some book signings for your first book and all that?
No, I haven't done any book signings, but I did do some, word of mouth locally. And I also entered a contest called Speak Up Talk Radio, and the book took second place for the suspense category. So that was something that I was very
Congratulations.
proud of.
Mhm.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm just letting it organically grow, and I figure that will give me time to do a sequel as well.
And that
Perfect.
sequel, that'll be the time when you're going to put all of that together and get the word out for the first book again, right? The whole
Right.
process for sure.
Yeah.
What do you think you enjoy most about being a writer? Tell me, like,
I think I just like telling the story. You know, I have a way with I feel connected to the words. I like telling the story with words, and just seeing where it'll go. Like I said, sometimes they come to me and I don't even know where they're coming from. So it's just by the grace of God.
100%. Go,
Yeah.
Paul. What a question.
I was going to say that that sounds like Stephen King, but he says just stories just come to him, which is kind of a little scary. So, but yeah, the same here though. I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying. So,
All right. So your website again, KATHRYN, is?
KATHRYNMATHIS.com. It's KATHRYN. KATHRYNMATHIS.com.
And why should people read the book again? What do you think the biggest thing? Why should?
I think it's interesting, you know, to put a human element in the whole mob casino, you know, story. You hear a lot about what the mobs did in the casinos in that era, and you know, this is just putting the local boy story to it, and that's what I think is interesting.
All right. We appreciate it, KATHRYN. Thanks again for stopping by.
Thank you. I appreciate
you.
it too.
You're welcome. You're listening and watching the Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.